Hi, Sam here, and in this video I am going to talk to you about custom cooktop trim kits. Let's say you've got an existing cutout in a granite countertop or Formica countertop or whatever you have, but you have to replace the cooktop and it does not fit in the opening. And so what we offer is a custom trim kit, and I'll show you a picture of it just so you kind of have a feel for what I mean. But here's a black trim kit. You can barely see it, but goes around this black cooktop. And then here's one that's a little closer up. It's a stainless cooktop trim kit that goes around the sides of this stainless steel cooktop. And so I'm going to walk you through sizing and how to size that, and also what the product actually is. So easiest way to show you what the product is just to show you a 3D. It's about a 1/16 of an inch thick, not quite a 1/16 of an inch. This one has rounded corners, but we also offer sharp 90-degree corners if that's what you prefer. But yeah, that's what you're looking at. That's what you would receive. It does not provide structural support. That's something you would have to do on your own. This is just designed to cover the horizontal gaps that you might have after installing the cooktop. And so the way to size these things, because we do get a fair amount of questions about, what size do I need to order? And so let me walk you through how to do that. The first thing you'll want to do is you'll want to find the spec sheet for your cooktop trim kit. And I just pulled one off of GE for a GE cooktop. And if you don't have your cooktop in hand yet, then you'll need this information up here, which is the actual outside dimensions of the cooktop. So this one is 21 inches by 29 7/8. And then what it does is it's going to recommend a cutout depth and width. So here we've got 28 5/8, and it's got a range actually. I'm just going to select the largest one, 28 5/8 by 19 3/4 depth. And so what you'll do here, we actually have a calculator that you can find in the link. You can find a link to that in the description of the product. And so you can use that calculator. It is designed to help you. It might make things simpler. And I'm going to go ahead and enter that information. So width of recommended cutout is 28.625. You do have to enter this in decimal form. And then 19.75 is what they're recommending for the depth. And so before I move on to the next ones, let me just walk you through a little bit of what we're doing here. And try not to confuse you. But I've drawn here a representation of let me go ahead and delete this right here. So what I've drawn here, deleted the wrong thing, is a cutout. So the cutout is the dotted line, and so the dotted line is the cutout, and the blue rectangle is the cooktop. And so yours may look similar to this. It may look different than this. It's just a representation. But let's say we have gaps over here, okay, where my arrow is pointing. We have gaps on the left and gaps on the right. Our cooktop does overlap on the top and bottom, okay. So we need something to fill in this gap on the left and the right. So let's go ahead and let's say I choose that I want my trim kit to overlap on the left, 1/2 inch on the right on the left. And I'm just picking some random dimensions here. But let's go ahead and do that. And then, so I'll just draw it kind of like, there we go. So now we've got our trim kit in place. Okay, so we're going to zoom in on one corner. You can see here it's overlapping the cutout by about 1/2 inch. And then I've made it to where it overlaps the top about 1/2 inch. Now here's the problem. You've got a cooktop now that is up here. Okay, so this right here is our cooktop. So it goes, trim kit goes along, and then all of a sudden it juts up a little bit where you run into the cooktop. So you might say, okay, well, then let's make our trim kit, let's expand the height of our trim kit a little bit. Let's make it to where it overlaps. Okay, so now I've got 1/2 inch overlap on the left for the countertop, and then I've got 1/2 inch overlap for the cooktop. And then, but here's the challenge, and this might actually work just fine for you and look really good. You may have some backsplash back here or something like that, or your countertop may end right here, and this will work just fine. This would be kind of a minimum design. You just want to overlap the countertop on the side that, you know, where you have the gap, and then you want to overlap the cooktop just a little bit, or maybe you don't want to overlap it at all. You know, maybe you want to, if you're limited on room, you might want to do something more like this, and that's just fine. If you do have room, what a lot of people like is they like symmetry. So let's say we want something more like this. Okay, so let me explain this. Here you've got our internal, here's our cooktop. Okay, this box right here, here's our cooktop. And then you see we've got a nice even border around it. Okay, so this is our border all the way around the cooktop. And to find that, you can do all the math and figure that out, but that's what our calculator does, is it takes all this into account and it tells you what size you need the inside cutout to be and what size you need the outside to be to get this uniform look right here. What you could do is type it into the calculator and see if it actually, you know, lay it out on your countertop after you do that, and then, you know, see if it fits, see if you have any obstructions or interferences that you need to account for. Lastly, if you need something that's unique, that's special, to where, for instance, you know, you may want what I'll call an asymmetrical kit, where you don't have the same overlap on the top and bottom. But if you need an asymmetrical kit, that's fine. We can do that. We can cut it out to any shape you need. Just ask that you send us a sketch before you order, and that way we can review it ahead of time. I'm just trying to draw an example here of an asymmetrical kit so you understand what I mean. So here's an asymmetrical kit. Basically, you've got this overlap on the top is very little from the cooktop, left and right. But we can do that, no problem. Just ask that you talk to us ahead of time before you place your order. So yeah, that is the overview of the cooktop trim kit, how to order, what it is, and other frequently asked questions. So if you have any further questions, please reach out to me. You can do so via the contact form on the website. It's probably the best way to do that. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day.